Hey guys, the Charlie Kirk, I loosely say this, right-wing conspiracies continue on the internet. No surprise. I mean, I'm a Republican, but instead of just rolling with what we know and what we have, the real facts, for example, that the FBI has laid out, people are like, oh, the entry wound is too much. Oh, what you're seeing there is an exit wound. No, I mean, look, when they say stuff like that, they don't actually know if there's an exit wound. No one does. And guess what? You're probably never going to. Now let some scumbag releases a bunch of information. But the big thing is the gun. The gun. That's all you hear is the gun. But I'm going to say this really clear. I hunt. I hunt a lot. And I would say this. One, there's nothing particularly amazing about 200-yard shots. Pretty easy to do, and there's literally millions of Americans who can make that shot. Now, as far as the gun goes, okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the all-coming knowledge of guns. I don't binge on gun information. It's not an important thing in life other than you go hunting, but it's not like I'm not like a gun nerd, okay? I read books that matter. not books that don't matter, right? So I suppose you could make the argument, certain arguments, but they just don't matter, right? In the big scheme of things. And so what I was going to say, and the point I'm getting to is, I suspect if you were to look out there into the greater internet world, you probably can find a malware gun modifier that would allow you to collapse that gun. And I loosely say that because I don't think that actually happened. I think the FBI has already told you what happened. And that's probably evident enough. And ultimately, now that DNA's been matched, it really doesn't even matter. I think, once again, just keeping to the things that do matter is this idea of conspirators. How many conspirators were there? And I think the FBI loosely uses this term here once again because it's not conspirator in the sense these people committed the crime. It's conspirator in the fact that they knew the crazy guy was going to maybe try to do something to Charlie Kirk and they never said anything. That's basically it. For example, the shooter's gay lover, the Twigs guy, or Twigs, how do you say it? Is it even likely that guy who shared the apartment with his gay lover, assassin boyfriend, is it even likely that living under the same roof, ranting the same exact way as his gay lover, that he wouldn't have known at least maybe that he was thinking about doing something to Charlie Kirk? See, because when you're two crazy dudes, two fucking crazy left-wing loons, okay, I mean, and you share the same ideology of stupidity and complete fantasy land, like they weren't living in reality from their little furry, unicorn wacko sex shit they did, and on and on and on, right? So, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I suspect if you got on the internet, right, and looked around, you could find some kind of kit that can modify the gun in a way it could be taken apart. If you were a good gunsmith, someone with experience, I'm certain, almost certain, you could just pay someone to do it if you were thinking that far out, in advance. And so I just don't think it's a big deal, really. I mean, because once again, all the right wing side of it is the problem is they're never satisfied. The left is never satisfied either. But it's different, right? It's different when this sort of stuff happens. The right, and I would even say the far right, because I think we're starting to get into the nut side of the Republican Party, right? So this is the more militant-minded people, like they're loony as fuck, basically. I think those guys, the problem I have as a Republican myself is they continue to spin conspiracy out of thin air. Things that, for one, the FBI hasn't mentioned or hasn't even made word of. And once again, concerning the gun, for example. And it's like, when you went to church, you need a lie to cover a lie, to cover a lie, to cover a lie. Well, it's the same thing. Only except now you're talking about conservative idiots versus Democratic idiots. So when you're out there fishing in the land of conspiracy, which is all lie, you need lie on top of lie on top of lie on top of lie to continue to cover stuff. And so the conspiracy gets bigger and bigger and bigger because it has to fit the narrative, right? Even Candace Owens saying things like Israel was in charge, was the reason why. Charlie Kirk and Israel, the state, first thing, mostly had a good working relationship. And generally speaking, Israel doesn't go out and assassinate people. It's almost a Western world understanding, really, that we don't assassinate people. This isn't fucking Russia where every time someone does something bad, you invite them up to the 100th floor of your hotel room and shove them out of a window, or their other preferred way, killing them with poison. So what I'm saying is, a lot of these Looney Tune Republican guys, they're out there spinning this like this is some James Bond story. And Candace Owens, who's become anti-Semitic. You hear her actually say this all the time nowadays. The Zionist Jewish Empire. I might have said that backwards, but you get my point. Well, it's not there's no truth to that. And why all of a sudden does all these Republican people of the Republican Party who start talking like J.D. Vance all of a sudden, why all of a sudden do they sound like a bunch of anti-Semitic morons? You realize Ben Shapiro's still brilliant, and Candace Owens is only in the position she is because Ben Shapiro gave her star. But what I'm saying is, I don't know how their relationship is nowadays, but I don't think it's that good. But at the end of the day, one of the reasons why Candace Owens was shown the door after she became a star, it didn't matter at that point, right? But the reason why is she started to talk anti-Jewish all the time. Which, once again, traditionally in Christianity, that just isn't a cool thing to be doing. Okay? We don't, as Christians, talk that way about Jewish people, including the Catholic Church, which she's a part of the Catholic Church now. Okay? So it's all went to shit. I can't, sometimes the way they talk, I can't tell if I'm listening to a left-wing or a right-wing nut job anymore. I think they're basically the same, is what I'm saying. But, okay, going back to I only got 11 minutes, guys. So, going back to the gun issue, and this is conspiracy, but I just wanted to use this as an example. If I had a yardstick in my hand, say it's about the size of a hunting rifle, okay? And I just had my normal backpack, which is, I can't do it. Anyway, it's decent size. It's not like you can get them bigger, but I use this for hiking and extended hikes and all that. It holds a decent amount. If you know how to pack, it holds a decent amount of stuff, okay? But anyway, if I had my rifle in my hand, my hunting rifle, just for the sake of conspiracy and all these nut jobs out there who think this is a big deal, that even though it's not, I could take the stock, the bud stock, like this, shove it down into the bag with the top half of the gun sticking out of the top, and this zip like this, swing it around my shoulder and just go. I wouldn't even have to break that hunting rifle down. I could just, like this, put it in there, zip, stick it on my shoulder and go. I don't think it even matters necessarily, because I think in that original footage that the FBI released, the original one that they had already sent out to Quantico, and they had the zoom in and the high resolution photo that you could see. The original one, I haven't seen many people circulating the original video. I see similar video, but not the original one. When that zoomed in, you can clearly see in the hand that has the cover over it, the towel, the gun sleeve, the t-shirt, wherever the hell it is. You can clearly see elongation of what looks like, and it's even stiff, looks like a hunting rifle in that hand. And it doesn't matter if he climbed down with it. He probably chucked it to the ground. I would have chucked it to the ground. At that point, it's not about anything other than survival. But I'll let you go, guys. Talk to you.